Excuse me. Oh shit. All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh. Excuse me. Again, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Wakar Kodash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women that believe and fear the name of Yahweh Shai. I am my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, and the water to the brother Mark McGrew, 9012, the water brother. So yeah, anyway, I just want to jump into this lesson real quick. Hopefully it's short and to the point. This is a video that I came across last night, and this is what Trump says about sedition, right? And this particular video that was posted by the Democrats, speaking to the military, right? And it brought to mind the precept in Second Ezra chapter 15, where it speaks about sedition amongst men, and I'm gonna get that in a second. But I wanted to play this video because this shows you that the times that we're in, right? The Trump 2.0 is way different than Trump, the first Trump administration, right? This dude has become more hardline and more emboldened to do what he wants, to pass agendas that destroy his own people, and sets America into a position in which it's going to be destroyed, right? And America's going to be destroyed from the inside out. It's not just going to be outside conflict that destroyed this so-called nation, which is not a nation, but this country, right? Babylon the Great. And so it's going to start with a lot of turmoil, and this is what the prophets of old prophesied about. You can't see his precepts, but let me bring this out real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah 28:8, right? Jeremiah 28:8. One of you brothers can post it on the comment board so other brothers can read along. But Jeremiah 28:8 says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence," man. Right? So the prophets of old wasn't prophesying about these nations, especially the nations that we were in captivity under. They weren't prophesying about their prosperity and their eternal lasting forever or existence forever, right? They prophesied of both what? Against many kingdoms, what? Of war, right? World War III is going to come and hit this place like a whirlwind, right? Pestilence, which is disease, destructions, plagues, all of that, all of these things. And America is no different from ancient Babylon, ancient Rome, the ancient Neo-Babylonian Empire, or the Medo and Purge. What they all have in common, they all fell. Yahweh Shai destroyed each and every last one of them, to include the Greek Empire, right? And they were all destroyed from within. Ancient Rome, they devalued their money, they stretched their armies thin, right? Ancient Greece was filled with infighting amongst those generals, particularly between Seleucid and Ptolemy, right? You had infighting, constant infighting with each new ruler that popped up, right? Ancient Babylon was taken out in a surgical strike overnight, right? Because they were found wanting, right? The Medo-Persian Empire fell to Alexander. Who took Medo-Persia? I think Alexander the Great, the Greek kingdom, right? And what they all had in common, they all had the children of Israel in captivity. And so I want to play this video real quick just to show you, hey, this is the mindset they're in. All right. The title of this lesson is Punishable by Death. Trump responds to Democrats' video to the military. So without any further ado, let me play this real quick, and you're going to see it.
Donald Trump is accusing half a dozen Democratic lawmakers of sedition, quote, punishable by death, after the lawmakers called on U.S. military members to uphold the Constitution and defy, quote, illegal orders. The 90-second video was first posted early Tuesday from Senator Alyssa Slotkin's X account. It features 6 lawmakers, all veterans of the armed services and intelligence community. In the video, they speak directly to U.S. service members.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Trump on Thursday reposted messages from others about the
He
video.
said, this is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors locked them up, President DJT. So he's talking about putting these people to death because they committed sedition. But the scriptures prophesied that this was going to happen.
Amplifying it with his own words. Democrats accused him of acting like a king and trying to distract from the soon-to-be released files about disgraced financier and sexual abuser Jeffrey Epstein. Trump is accusing
so here there you have it, right? What do you have? You have your so-called president, the head of state, saying that particular legislators, right, people as politicians, supposed to be put to death because of what? Their seditious behavior. Because what they were telling the army or the military, Salakia about that. They were telling the military to do what? To don't listen to those orders, right? Don't whatever those orders are. I don't know what orders they're referring to, but according to these lawmakers, right, they're trying to get into the minds of the troops, right? And President Trump is supposed to be the commander in chief. He's the head of the military, okay? And so the Lord is setting these people apart, right? He's dividing them. They're already divided by so-called party, which a lot of times it's all a setup anyway, because they both worship Satan and these super elites on the left-hand side, right? And so, but anyway, the Lord is what? He's setting Egyptian against Egyptian, right? These Edomites, they're all Egyptians. They're all the modern day Egyptians, right? This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. Isaiah 19 and 2, right? And it says, I'll start at 1. The burden, and this message is to Egypt, but it ain't talking about ancient Egypt. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh Bashim Shai rideth upon a swift cloud, which is a chariot, and shall come into Egypt, which is America, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, right? Those Edomites on the right and on the left, so-called Democrats and Republicans, right? Or Republicans and Democrats, they're going against each other. And everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So America, as it falls, because America is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, as its place falls, these people are going to be pitted against each other, and they already are, right? The MAGAs, they're against Trump now, right? They're losing their crap because all those empty promises Trump promised, they ain't getting them, right? So it says in the NLT, I will make Egyptians fight against Egyptians, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province, which is state against state, right? And that's what you're going to see. You start to see a stark divide. People, and this, Trump, I don't think he controls his X account. I think that it's controlled by some people, but nonetheless, the stuff that they're putting up is completely divisive. Here's the article on the same topic. Trump accuses Democrats of seditious behavior, punishable by what? Death. And this happened to our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, as well as the apostles, right? They got accused for sedition, and they actually got put to death, Rome all over again. Trump accuses Democrats of seditious behavior, punishable by death for urging military to ignore illegal orders. Trump called for the Democrat lawmakers to be arrested and placed on trial, right? And here it is. This he's a criminal himself, right? He's a convict. He's a convicted felon, 34 times over. Never spent a day in prison, never will. He's the head of a fucking country. He's the only head of a country who's duly convicted of crimes, but yet he can tell somebody else who's supposed to go to trial and who's supposed to not go to trial. This dude is out of fucking pocket, bruh. Let me see what this said. Oh, y'all can't hear it. Yeah, he said these people are supposed to be executed for posting this video because they're inciting the military to go against their ruler, their leader. Yeah, I think this dude used to be an astronaut, and now he's a lawmaker, right? These are all Edomites. These are all Satanists. These are all monsters and demons, and the Lord pitting them against one another. So anyway, it says President Donald Trump on Thursday accused several Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior, calling for them to be arrested and put on trial for behavior that he said could be punishable by death. The lawmakers, many of whom are veterans, had posted a video Tuesday telling military intelligence officers to refuse illegal orders. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. The president wrote on one of Truth Social posts Thursday morning, linking to an article about the video from the Washington Examiner. This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors lock them up, Trump wrote on another post. In the third, he wrote, seditious behavior punishable by death. Trump also reposted multiple posts from other truth Slovakia. From other Trump also reposted multiple posts from other Truth Social users about the video, including one that said, hang them, George Washington would. You see? Lawmakers in the video, which Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin posted Tuesday, are all military veterans and former intelligence officers who spoke directly to members of the military and intelligence community. We know you're under enormous stress and pressure right now. Americans trust their military, but that trust is at risk, said the Democratic lawmakers, including Slotkin, Senator Mary Kelly of Arizona, Representative Chris Delazio of Pennsylvania, and blah, 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 blah. The administration is pitting our uniformed military intelligence community professionals against American citizens like us all. And that's what's going to happen, right? These ICE agents, these military, these militias that they're hiring, they're going to go against the regular average American, right? These concentration camps, they're going to be filled with regular, everyday American people, right? It's going to happen. You think that this is just fear mongering or that we're just reading deeper than? No, nigga, this is prophecy, bro. This is prophecy right here. It says this administration is pitting our uniformed military and intelligence community professionals against Slovakia. I keep losing my train of thought. Against American citizens like us. You all swore an oath to protect and defend this Constitution, which George Bush said that the Constitution is just a piece of paper, right? Right now, the threats coming to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. You must refuse illegal orders. They added, no one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution. They did not call for opposition to any specific policy or orders, right? They ain't telling you what orders not to turn against. So what they doing, they setting up sedition. What is sedition? Sedition is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of the state and or monarch, right? Rabble rousing, agitation, incitement, rebellion. He's a rebellion, provocation, right? This is the book of this is the book of Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? For there shall be what? Sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? In the GNT, 2nd Esdras 15. In the GNT, 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, starting at verse Second Esdras 15, starting at verse 14. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed, right? These people that's in this world are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction, come on, man. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. What is that? What is that war that's going to bring Esau's world to destruction along with the rest of the heathens, their world, this world to destruction, right? What war is that? It's the World War III. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves, fight against other nations, and they're already doing it. They're already clipping up. There will be great political turmoil, and we're seeing that right now, especially here in America. It's political turmoil is all over the world right now. Great political turmoil. Prime ministers are quitting. Certain presidents are getting fired, right? All kinds of shit. A president is getting more control over his nation than any president before him, right? There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another, right? The Republicans and the Democrats, and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And that's going to happen. Because what they did, vote this dude in. He got the popular vote. He got the electoral vote. But these people want him out of office, man. Right? There will no longer be free access to the cities. They're going to be cut off for whatever reason. Right? Because the struggle for their power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Driven by famine, that's going to come. Terrible suffering. People will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. It's going to get wild out here, bro. And it's just the beginning of troubles. You see? But people ain't listening. Prophecy is being fulfilled right here in front of you, in your face. Right? In your face. Right? This dude he just said these people need to be put to death. Right? No real trial, no evidence, no due process. No. Seditious behavior, punish them by death. Right? And this is Esau's way. This is Rome all over again, bro. So I typed this up. I said, which apostles were charged with sedition and was Yahushua charged with it? Here's a clear scripture and base breakdown of sedition and which apostles, whether Yahushua were accused of it. Was Yahushua charged with sedition? Yes. The Roman authorities and the chief priests accused him of sedition, meaning rebellion against Rome or claiming a kingship that threatened Caesar. Right? He said, what them people, what Jake say? We have no king except Caesar. This is St. John chapter 9. It says the phrase you are referencing is we have no king except Caesar. A statement made by the chief priest during the trial of Yahushua, as recorded in the Gospel of John and in the New Testament, of the Bible. Let's go to it. St. John chapter 19, verse 5. St. John chapter 19, verse 5. It says, then came Yahushua forth wearing a crown of thorn and a purple robe, and Pilate saith unto them, behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and the officers saw him, they cried out, saying, crucify him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, take ye him and crucify him, for I found no fault in him. Right? Salaki. I'm just trying to find it. Caesar. Why does it say 19 and 5? 19 and 15, Salaki. Like, what? This is St. John chapter 19, verse 15. And I'll start at 13. When Pilate therefore heard the saying, he brought Yahushua forth. Oh, let me read up. Verse 12, St. John 19 and 12. And from thenceforth Pilate sought to release him. But the Jews cried out, saying, if thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend. Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Yahushua forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew, Gabatha, right? Yeah, Gabatha. And it was preparation of Passover, and about the 6th hour. And he saith unto the Jews, Behold, your king. But they cried out, Away with him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, Shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, We have no king but Caesar. Right? And that's what them niggas wanted. They wanted Esau to rule over them because Esau gave them preferential treatment. Right? And they were allowed to rule over Jake with that iron fist, smashing the law in their face, while being hypocrites themselves. And they didn't respect the Messiah. And they said they have no king except Caesar. Right? It says evidence, Luke 23:2, clear charge of sedition. We found this fellow perverting the nation, forbidding to give tribute to Caesar, saying that he himself is a Mashiach, a king. And Yahushua never forbid the people to give Caesar's tribute. He said, what? Whose face is on that coin? And they said, Caesar. And he said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Right? But these niggas lied. This is explicitly sedition under Roman law. They accused him of undermining Roman authority, telling people not to pay taxes, which he never did. Luke 20:25 proves that. Claiming kingship in opposition to Caesar. And Yahushua is the king. He's the king of kings. He's the Lord of lords and king of kings. Right? But back then, he wasn't coming to his kingship, his rulership. But he was who he said he was. Right? St. John 19:12. Pilate pressured with sedition claims. If thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend. Whoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar. The Pharisees framed his messianic kingship as rebellion against Rome. The title on the cross, sedition charge. Yahushua of Nazareth, the king of the Jews. John 19:19. Under Roman execution protocol, the written charge, Tilius displayed the crime the person died for, calling him king of the Jews, made his execution appear to be for rebellion and insurrection. And that's what they're going to charge us. That's the kind of stuff that they're about to charge us with, because we're speaking against this place. We're chanting down Babylon with the prophecies, bringing out the prophecies, right? Same thing the apostles did. Same thing Yahushua did, right? And that's going to be framed as sedition, right? Especially when the MOTB is launched onto the people and we're speaking against it, right? Watch. So Yahushua was falsely charged with sedition, though he committed no such crime. Exactly. And we're not committing that crime. We're not committing sedition, right? We don't tell Jake to go out there, don't pay your taxes, and don't be upstanding citizens. We're not telling you that. We're telling you to leave this world that's full of sin. And you do that by repenting to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and turning back unto our power, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But they're going to watch. That's the same thing, bro. Right? Which apostles were charged with sedition? Several apostles were accused of sedition or stirring up political rebellion, mainly by Roman authorities and angry crowds stirred by religious leaders. Paul repeatedly accused of sedition. Paul is most directly charged with sedition and inciting rebellion. Acts 24:5. We have found this man a pestilent fellow and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world. Here, Paul is directly accused of sedition, inciting unrest, leading a dangerous movement. And that's why Claudius he expelled the Jews, because he said that we were inciting unrest and all that other shit. Acts 17:6-7. In Thessalonica, these that have turned the world upside down, because we brought the truth out, saying there is no king. I'm going to do that again. These that have turned the world upside down, saying there is another king, one Yahushua. Again, this is sedition because preaching Yahushua as king was seen as opposing Caesar. Peter and John accused of causing unrest and political disturbances. While not called seditious by name, the accusation against them aligned with disturbing public order and challenging authority. Acts 4:17-18, leaders fear their influence. And that's what you're going to see. Because when things start happening, these prophecies they're already happening. But especially when they kick up and the Lord endow particular men of the Lord with certain spiritual powers and gifts, they really going to turn it up. Let us straightly threaten them that they speak henceforth no man in this name. So they wanted to stop the apostles from speaking in the name of Yahushua. They saw the apostles as a danger to their authority and potential rebellion against the establishment. You have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intended to, in Acts 5:28, you have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intended to bring this man's blood upon us, because they were scared that the Romans would come down on them because the apostles were speaking about Yahushua, right? Okay. And Shalom, Zaquanian Wa'akim, all you brothers is on the comment board. Shalom to all the Yachanan from the UK, brother. The water for tuning in. Right? It says, this is political. They accuse the apostles of stirring up the people. Stephen accused of political and religious agitation. Acts 6:13. This man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against the holy place and the law. While framed as blasphemy, Stephen preaching of Yahushua was viewed as destabilizing and revolutionary. And that's what's happening today, making him an enemy to the Sanhedrin. All the apostles' group accusations, Acts 17:6. These that have turned the world upside down are come hither also. That was direct charge of causing civil disorder and political accusations. Right? In summary, persons, Yahushua, yes, falsely charged. Luke 23:2, John 19:12, Tertullus on a cross. Paul, yes, explicitly, Acts 24:5, Acts 17:6-7. Peter, implicit. John, implicit. Stephen, implicit. Political, religious. All apostles collectively, yes, accused of revolution. Why they were accused of sedition? The message of Yahushua proclaimed a new king, Yahushua, undermined the wicked rulers, gathered large followings, exposed corruption, challenging the authority of Rome and the Sanhedrin. To Rome, the Pharisees, this looked like revolution. And that's why you notice whenever so-called revolutions popped up, and a lot of them were set up, but they popped up, they would kill what? The grassroots leaders, right? Like they had that movie about the guy, I can't remember his name, but he's from Chicago. What's it called? Something in a Black Messiah, Judas and a Black Messiah, something like that. But I forget the guy, Fred Hampton. All right, Fred Hampton. They killed him because he was a grassroots leader. They didn't kill Bobby Seals. They didn't kill what's the other guy name? The light-skinned brother. I forget his name. Huey P. Newton. They didn't kill him till later, right? But the rest of them, they let them live. All the revolutions when Jake was trying to, and back then Jake was just pushing for reparations, hardcore, right? So all the time you see Jake so-called revolutions pop up, right? They quail them down or they kill the people and they destroy them because they don't want that. And us coming back to our nationality, that's revolutionary to this devil, right? Especially as we get to as things get more tighter and the prophecies are popping up like popcorn more and more, and everybody's referring back to the scriptures, they're going to start charging us with this shit, bro. And they do things for precedence. Anytime you speak against this man and his system, they'll create a precedence so that the next people that do it, they can just straight throw you in there and get rid of you. You see? That's what's happening. So yeah, brothers, I saw this and I thought that I could, edify with it. I didn't mean to make it so long, but the water Yahweh Shai and the water for you brothers tuning in. I know it's late or early your time, you know what I'm saying, late my time. But I hope you were edified with that. With that, I'm going to say shalom and on to the next. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shai, double honor to the apostles and the bishop elders. Salutations to the elect. Hey, shalom, shalom.